So you've been told you need an ankle support brace or boot. This is the Aircast ankle boot, the short Aircast, and the one I'm going to talk to you through. Okay, it's made by a company called Aircast. I've got no affinity or shares in Aircast. I'm just doing it because it's the one we use in our clinic. First thing you do is you size it to the patient. Okay, so what I typically do is ask the patient to sit with their leg placed up, and you place the boot on there, and this is quite big for the patient. There's a big area there, space, so I'm going to try a slightly smaller one. That's a medium, and I'm going to get another smaller one here, which is called a small, and you place the foot and the heel there, and you can see that's the perfect size. So we're going to go with a small size. Okay, so first thing it does, it comes with straps. So you undo it like a moon boot, and you undo the straps, and inside there's usually some instructions. You can get rid of those, we don't need those. And then it's got a front that comes off. Okay, and hand that to the patient. Next thing to say is inside you've got a padded pad there, and then inside here you've got an airbag. Okay, and there's a balloon or airbag on either side, and that's how it works. You pump up the air and it holds you snugly inside. And so what you do, and the next thing I just as a top tip is when they come with this strap, the back strap, the top strap, shortened to the end point, and that's the worst thing you can do because you can't get to it. It's always around the back. So what I do is pull the strap forward, and you can see the strap here. I release it from the Velcro there and just give it a little bit extra of length there, and then tighten it and put this back. Okay, and then by doing so you've now got your strap sitting on the side and not stuck around the back. Okay, and then what you then do is get all this Velcro, horrible Velcro, out of the way, and you place it so that the patient can put their foot into the boot with the heel all the way to the back. So the heel has to be right the way to the back, and the toes mustn't be sticking out at the edge here. And then obviously you don't want the Velcro sticking on the skin, so always put the non-Velcro side down first and then strap the Velcro. And likewise on this side, you put this side down first and the Velcro goes over the front. Okay, the next thing you do is you get this, and I always show it to the patient and say, can you see the word Aircast? And if they can't see it, it's because it's upside down. So you've got to be able to see the word Aircast. The patient's looking from that side, you've got to see the word Aircast, otherwise it's upside down, and it's easy to do on the short one. You place it inside, and then you place the strap around. I typically go in the outer one. I don't bother looping it. Some people do, I don't bother. And you can always loosen it at the end, and that should fit nice and snugly. Then you've got these two wings, and the wings must go on the outside. Like a ski boot, they have to grab from there. So if you look from above here, you'll see that it grabs either side, okay? And these wings have to go on the outside. It looks much nicer for them to go on the inside, okay? It looks cuter. But actually what will happen is the wings will go into the balloons on the side and it'll burst them. And it's not good to burst anyone's balloon, so always put them on the outside to grab the boot inwards. And then what you do is you grab inside that Velcro again and you pull that one on. So again, so it's nice and snug and it's grabbing around the boot to hold it. Then you've got the airbag. So this is a pump that pumps up the balloons, one on the outside and one on the inside. Okay, and what I typically do is bend the knee and ask the patient to grab those and pump them, and you have to pump them about up to 12 times really till it feels like the air is filling up in these airbags and it feels nice and snug inside. It's the airbags are grasping around the ankles, so it feels nice and snug, and when it feels nice and snug, that's good enough to go. If it's too much air and it feels too tight or too much pressure, if you've, for example, broken your ankle, you can release the air. There's a little valve just below the pump, there's a little valve. You push the button, and if you listen, it'll hiss. Okay, and that releases all the air. When you're taking it off, you have to release the air, both on this side and on this side, before you take it off. And then you can pump again, up to 10 or 12 times, till it feels like it's nice and snug. Does that feel snug? Okay, now stand up and let's try walking. Okay, so that's the boot, and it has a rocker on it so that you're not putting too much strain. Because it's higher than your other foot, I always tell people to put a big thick trainer on the other side so that you're evened up, if you like. Otherwise you'll put strain on your knees, your hips and on your back. Sometimes people buy something called an even up online, which actually sits on top of the other side trainer to even you up. But either way, I just want you to be balanced so you don't get back problems. I don't know if you want to take it off now, just so you can show how you take it off. Remember to release the air first on both sides, push the button. And then undo the Velcro, and it should just now nicely come off. And that's it.